Hey, Cowboys Nation! Welcome back to the channel. If you're a die-hard Dallas Cowboys fan like me, you've probably been hearing a lot of talk about some big names and the future of the team. From franchise tags, contract extensions, to possible departures, there's a ton to unpack today. In today's video, we're diving deep into some of the hottest rumors circulating around the Dallas Cowboys, Osa Odighizuwa and the possibility of him getting the franchise tag, Tank Lawrence's future with the team, Brandin Cooks' impact, and the fate of safety Donovan Wilson. So grab your snacks, get comfortable, and let's break down all the rumors and the inside scoop that could change the direction of the Cowboys roster in the coming months. First up, let's talk about Osa Odighizuwa. The Cowboys' defensive tackle has been one of the bright spots on the defense over the last couple of years. A lot of people were skeptical about him coming into the NFL after his college career at UCLA, but man, has he proven everyone wrong. The big question on the table right now is, could the Cowboys use the franchise tag on him? Let's dive into the reasoning behind this possibility. As we know, the franchise tag is typically used to keep a player for another season without committing to a long-term deal. And in Osa's case, it could be the perfect move. The Cowboys have a solid defensive line, but Osa's ability to disrupt the quarterback and stop the run has made him a valuable asset. He had a standout season, consistently pressuring quarterbacks and playing with intensity. But here's where things get tricky. Osa is entering the final year of his rookie contract, and with teams like the Cowboys needing to make cap space for big moves, it's not out of the question that they might tag him to secure that production for another year while figuring out the future of the line. Could this be a case of the Cowboys playing it safe with Osa while they sort out some other more pressing roster concerns? Or do they see him as a long-term piece and potentially extend him soon? The coming weeks will be crucial. But what's the cap hit going to be? Well, defensive tackles can get pretty expensive, so we might be talking about a salary in the ballpark of $20 million. But again, the Cowboys might want to lock up that production rather than risk losing him to free agency. It all comes down to what the front office values most moving forward. Now let's move to a player that Cowboys fans have seen rise and fall over the years, DeMarcus "Tank" Lawrence. Tank has been a cornerstone of the Cowboys defense for a long time now. But with the rumors swirling about a potential trade, is Tank's time in Dallas coming to an end? Tank Lawrence has had a bumpy ride over the years. Injuries, inconsistencies, and a massive contract have raised questions about his value. In 2023, Tank was still producing at a high level, but his performance was definitely up and down. The Cowboys have a lot of talent on the defensive front, and with the need to keep their cap space under control, Lawrence's massive contract might be a reason for the team to consider moving on. But here's the thing, Tank Lawrence has always been a key player when it comes to big games. His leadership, presence in the locker room, and ability to take over in clutch moments cannot be overlooked. So, it's going to be a tough decision. If the Cowboys move on from him, they'll have to look at other options. But let's be real, Tank is one of the top pass rushers when he's on his game. Could they restructure his contract to make him more affordable? That might be one way to keep him around, but again, it's about balancing the cap space and where they see the biggest impact for the future. Tank could be a trade candidate, but don't be surprised if he's back with the Cowboys at least for one more year. But here's the big rumor. Are the Cowboys looking to move on from Tank to make room for younger talent like Micah Parsons and Osa Odighizuwa? Are they trying to get younger on the defensive line? We'll keep an eye on that situation as the offseason develops. Alright, let's switch gears a bit and talk about the Cowboys' wide receiving core. One name that's been getting a lot of attention is Brandin Cooks. After the Cowboys acquired him in a trade, expectations were high for him to come in and be a true deep threat alongside CeeDee Lamb. But how's he actually performed? While Brandin Cooks has shown flashes of brilliance, he hasn't always been as consistent as we might have hoped. He's had a couple of big games, but injuries and inconsistencies at the quarterback position have made it difficult for him to reach his full potential. But here's the kicker: Cooks is a vet with a ton of experience and can still stretch the field when healthy. So, will Cooks stay with the Cowboys for 2025? That's the million-dollar question. Rumors are swirling about whether the Cowboys will keep him or move him. They gave up a decent amount for him in that trade with the Texans, so they might want to keep him around for at least one more year to see if they can finally get a full season out of him. However, with the salary cap situation, there's always the possibility that the Cowboys move on from him if they decide to go in a different direction at receiver. Here's where it gets interesting. Could Cooks be a trade candidate, or could the Cowboys bring in someone new to complement CeeDee Lamb? It all comes down to how the front office feels about his role and what they can get in return. Now let's talk about Donovan Wilson. The Cowboys' safety has been a major contributor to the defense and a fan favorite for his hard-hitting style. But with the future of the safety position up in the air, where does that leave Donovan Wilson? Wilson had a strong season, and while he's not quite as flashy as some of the other stars, he's a very solid player who brings grit and determination to the secondary. But here's the big question: will the Cowboys prioritize him as a long-term fixture in their defense? Rumors have suggested that Wilson could hit free agency, and that might be something the Cowboys want to avoid. If they do let him walk, they'll need to fill that hole with a reliable safety, maybe even via the draft. But if they see him as part of the long-term plan, they'll need to extend him soon. Could he be one of the next players to receive an extension, or is he on the chopping block? So there you have it, tons of Cowboys news and rumors surrounding some of the biggest names on the team. From Osa Odighizuwa's potential franchise tag, Tank Lawrence's future with the Cowboys, Brandin Cooks' fit in the offense, and Donovan Wilson's role in the secondary, it's clear that 2025 is going to be a pivotal year for America's team. What do you think? Will Osa get tagged? Should the Cowboys move on from Tank Lawrence? Is Cooks the missing piece, or should they go in a different direction? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Cowboys rumors and futures, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all the latest updates. Until next time, go Cowboys!